Hello, everyone. My name is Han Wang, and I'm currently a master's student at the Academy of Sinology, UWTSD. This is my second year here, and today I'm going to share about my reflection and benefits gained from learning traditional Chinese culture. Looking back at my childhood memories, one of the teachings I heard the most from my family elders is that karma is real. What goes around comes around. As a child, I always found that this saying is very philosophical and distant from my life. When I was in high school, my mother started to follow the Buddhist Venerable Master Ching Kong's teaching, and from his talks, my mother got to know a book named Liao Fan's Four Lessons. After reading the book herself, she strongly recommended me to read it. I opened the book without knowing that it could make such a huge impact on me in the future, and it really strengthened my understanding and belief in the idea that our actions could change the direction of our destiny and we are our own future. Next, I'm going to talk about the main ideas of Liao Fan's Four Lessons. This is a book written by Yuan Liaofan, who was a Chinese official during the 16th century. The four lessons are learning to create destiny, ways to reform, ways to cultivate goodness, and benefits of the virtue of humility. In the first lesson, Liao Fan gave us an overview of his life-changing experience. When Liao Fan was young, a Taoist monk named Kong told that his fortune and said that he would only live to the age of 53 without any significant career achievement and probably would be childless. He was skeptical at first, but as all of Kong's other predictions began to occur with great accuracy, he started to resign to fate and adopted a very negative attitude that he had no control over his life. Luckily, he met a Buddhist master several years later who told him that destiny cannot bind those who cultivate great kindness, and one's life could definitely be rewritten. The master taught him that if we wish for and seek wealth, a high position, or long life, we can attain it. But how? He continued to say that all the fields of merit are within one's own heart. If one seeks from the true mind within, one can be in touch with all that one wishes for. By seeking within ourselves, we will not only attain the inner qualities of virtue, integrity, and kindness, we will also attain external benefits such as wealth, fame, and prestige. Following Master's guidance, Liao Fan lived 20 years longer than predicted, attained high positions in the government, and had one son. His life has been rewritten totally. When I finished reading the first lesson, my heart was pounding so fast with passion and excitement because I felt that I have found something very special to guide my life. At that time, I was in the last year of high school, planning to apply for several universities that I dreamed of going so badly. Every day of school felt like war because everyone was working extremely hard. And that made me very anxious because I felt that only by outcompeting the others could I have a better chance at getting an offer. But the master's words opened up a new insight for me that if I want to attain something, I should seek within myself. No one had ever told me that before, and I realized that for most of the time, I had been pursuing the external factors so hard. So I dove into the rest of the book like a thirsty person who has just discovered a freshwater spring. Later that year, by following Liao Fan's teachings, I got offers from the top 3 universities in Canada. Till now, This book, along with many other great classics, have continuously benefited me and my family in terms of health, relationships, study, and work. Going on to the next lesson. The second and third lessons of this book are ways to reform and ways to cultivate goodness. These two are the methods to alter our destiny. The reason that we should reform our faults is to avoid misfortunes. Many times, the things we do wrongly could really damage our relationship between people and hurt their feelings. One of the most important relationships among humans is the bond between parents and children, because we learn a lot about how to interact with people based on our experience with our parents. So my first change was based on an 18th century text called Guidelines for Learners, which includes a lot of detailed instructions about how to treat our parents correctly, such as when parents call, don't be slow to answer. Though a matter might be small, don't act arbitrarily. Back then, my mother and I spent 1 hour to read the text a few times together every day, so that I could be familiar with the content and really put it into daily practice. My mother started treating my grandmother according to the teachings, so that she set myself as an example for me to follow, which I found very inspiring. After a period of practice, I felt that my heart had never been so close to my parents. I extended those guidelines into my interaction with friends and colleagues at work, and found that I have become a more reliable person. For example, I try to take care of my friends when they're ill, just like what I would do for my parents. During work, I update my progress regularly and frequently with my supervisors, just like how I would report to my parents so they won't feel worried or disconnected from me. I realized that although the things that the Guidelines for Learners taught us to do seemed very trivial, it showed respect to other people and could eliminate many potential problems, misunderstandings, and conflicts. The third lesson taught us ways to cultivate goodness. I used to be the kind of person who would expect others to reciprocate if I have done some good deeds. Sometimes, if I cannot see any immediate benefits coming back to me, I feel reluctant to do good deeds, even if I act as I would love to do that. However, Liao Fan told us that true sincerity in practicing goodness is to do so without asking for anything in return, and is the crucial factor in such matters. Buddhist master Zhongfeng also told us that practicing goodness solely to benefit others is considered public benefit and is real goodness. If we only think of ourselves while doing good, then that is considered private benefit and is false goodness. If a real goodness is done, even if the person does not ask for anything in return, they will still be rewarded for having a good heart. So in the academy, the academy really encourages us to do any good deeds within our capacity, even if they are the really small ones, because people sometimes tend to overlook the importance of doing minor good deeds. About once every month, staff and students in the academy will go around the neighborhood to pick up litter on the ground. As international students from another country coming to UK, we sincerely appreciate the kind welcome and care given by the local community. And this trash picking activity is a chance for us to give something back within our capacity. Every time after picking up the trash, I feel genuinely happy, as if I have improved my heart and mind. Not by not expecting anything in return when cultivating good deeds, I find myself a more loving person, less self-centered, less petty, and more willing to benefit others. The last lesson teaches us the benefits of the virtue of humility. I used to think that humility was a virtue only for beginners or people with lower ranks or status, but in fact, the professors and teachers in the academy completely changed my mind. In fact, the ones who are the most knowledgeable and virtuous are also the most humblest people I've ever seen. Professor Chu of our academy is a world-renowned phonologist and linguist. However, he always refers to his academic achievements as minor accomplishments. In every class and every discussion with Professor Chu, he is always very patient towards students' questions, even if sometimes they're a bit silly. Professor Chu is also very approachable outside the class. Every week, students would join him in a walk to the sites around the town. And the same could also be observed in other professors in the academy who have great academic achievements, and their humility really touches us students. Just like what is said in a book, the laws of spirits bring harm to those who are arrogant and good fortune to those who are modest. Even the laws of people despise those who are arrogant and prefer those who are modest. This has had a great impact on me, and several months ago during the summer break, I took a part-time job as a teaching assistant for an online course of a university. When a few students asked me about information that I have already announced over and over again, I became a little impatient and annoyed. Then the image of our processors popped into my mind, and I realized that even though I'm not as successful as the professors are, I'm still more arrogant towards the students than the professors are towards us. I reflected that as a student, I appreciated being treated patiently by my teachers, and I should do that to my students when I become the teacher. So I adjusted my attitude, answered my students' questions with patience and love. Actually, I ended up learning a lot from the students. And guess what? I was granted the Outstanding Teaching Assistant Award without even wanting to gain that award. All I want to say is that we could really write our destiny and attain what we wish for by taking the right action. We are in control, so we should seek within our heart rather than expecting others to change for us. The concept that we shape our own future is not just a slogan. It has a very practical implication for our daily lives. For example, our well-being is in our hands. I studied nutrition for my undergraduate degree. One of the nutritional concepts that I find the most important is you are what you eat. You might have experienced that after eating a lot of processed foods that are high in sugar, fat, and salt for a long period of time, your body tends to feel heavy and bloated. But if you switch to a more balanced diet that includes a lot of fruits and vegetables, you are most likely to feel more energized. It is also the same for other lifestyle choices, such as exercising. It's really our choice about how we take care of our health. We are also responsible for our mental health. In our life, setbacks and misfortunes happen from time to time. We cannot control the external factors, but we can choose our thoughts. Buddhism teaches us that all phenomena are manifested by the mind. How a situation affects us is not determined by the situation itself, but by what we make out of it. Venerable Master Ching Kong taught us to live in a grateful world. Be grateful to those who have criticized you, for they have increased your wisdom and concentration. Be grateful to those who have made you stumble, for they have strengthened your ability. Be grateful to those who have abandoned you, for they have taught you to be independent. Be grateful to those who have deceived you, for they have deepened your insight. Be grateful to those who have hurt or harmed you, for they have reinforced your determination. Be grateful to those who have made you firm and resolute and helped in your achievement. If we choose to focus on the negativity when the circumstances are unfavorable, we might be easily consumed by anger, denial, and disappointment. However, if we choose to focus on the positive aspects, then everything becomes a chance for us to learn from, and we could grow and benefit from even the worst situation. It's really our decision as to how we receive and utilize every life experience. In conclusion, I'm very grateful that I had the chance to study traditional Chinese culture. It directs me a way of living that I have never imagined before, a way that makes me feel confident and peaceful because I have learned that we hold the power of writing our own future. I'm thankful for Venerable Master Ching Kong, my parents, teachers, and friends for setting up good examples for me to learn from. Although I have attained some benefits from following Liao Fan's 4 lessons, there is still so much for me to work on. I hope with time, I will truly become the writer of my life while also helping others to realize happiness in their lives. With the collective power of all the people who have known the secret of writing their destiny, I'm positive that we can change the world's future into a better place. And this is the end of my presentation. Any feedback and suggestions would be really appreciated. Thank you for your kind attention.